Hey, good morning. How are you? Today is Monday. It's the 13th of December 2021, and this is our 8 a.m. movement snack. It's our circulation boosting and our mobilisation. Getting everything moving, decrumpling, getting us ready for the day. That's what we do here. Right, you catching up in? If you are, hi, hello, hope you're all right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. Whatever time it is, wherever it is, pop us a comment in, let us know that you've been in and shared a little bit of your precious time with us. That makes our day. We will come back to you. We always do. We like to come back and let you know that we've seen your comment. Right, it's trying to rain here. Overcast, dull, a little bit of like that sort of spitting types, mizzly weather. Perhaps is that a word for it? Mizzly. It's like that sort of weather today. So that's where we are, down here in Coventry, getting ready for Christmas. Things are moving on. We're getting closer, aren't we? Christmas nibble shopping done yesterday. We're getting there. Right. I'm going to leave you there. If you're a catcher-upper, just pop us that comment in, whatever time of day it is. Let us know what time of day it is, actually, because it's always interesting to know what time of day it is you're watching. If you're here, I'm doing my breakfast snack at lunchtime. It's good. It's great. It makes us realise just how important this is to you, how you enjoy it. So that's great. Right, I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to pop across, say hello to people as they come on board. So good morning, George. How the devil are you? Been windy through the night. It's quite a settled night here, but I say it's a bit of mizzly this morning. Overcast. It's still dark. And there's a bit of rain in the air. Margaret Hamilton, good morning to you. Sheila Day is in, Bex is in, Ian Wright is in. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome along. Monday, 13th of December 2021. Morning Twinkle. I presume you're talking to the lights behind me, not me. You can call me Twinkle if you want, Bex. I'll answer to anything, you know that. Call me anything, I don't know. I don't care, I'll answer. Christine Perry, good morning to you. Danny Port Talbot. I'm glad to hear that you clarified that, George. The weather, not me. I wasn't even thinking it, George, but now it's there. It's planted there now. You've done it. It's a bit like when I did that to you, I planted that worm in your ear that one day. Hopefully you've forgiven me for that. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome along, everybody. This is your 8 a.m. movement snack. It's a Monday. It's the start of the week. Did you like your elves? Hey, a bit of dancing there. See, look, no. That's our sideline. We're available for bookings, We're available for Christmas bookings, although it might be a bit bad at the moment, Don't know what's going to happen. But hey, you can have me, Bex, and Kelsey in our elf outfits. Come and dance at your party if you want. I'm not being serious, by the way. I'm joking. Vivian Nixon, good morning to you. Everyone, he's saying hello to Vivian is saying hello to everybody as well. You've had a couple of cups of coffee, which is good. I've had me one cup of tea. I'm going to have another cup of tea after this. We couldn't see the elves. Oh, couldn't you? Oh, no. I will have a look at that in a bit. I posted it on our little group for Make Movement Nutrition yesterday. And then I posted it this morning to you all, so hopefully you could see it. I'll have a look. Morning to Gillian Hillier, and good morning to Margaret Wood. Just come in time. You're here. That's all that matters. Right, let's get ourselves ready to go, shall we? So if you want to lose the comments off the bottom of the screen, to the right, and they are gone. Should we have a 3, 2, 1? Okay. Whoa. Hi, everybody. You're with Dave Montgomery from Lady Life Training. Today is Monday. It's the 13th of December 2021, and this is our 8 a.m. movement snack. Movement snack number 1. It's where we start the day. We boost our circulation and we get ourselves ready to go. Now, I've got a very special thank you to give to somebody this morning. A big thank you to Dawn, who has provided the socks this morning. A Christmas present from Dawn, which they're lovely. They're absolutely lovely. They're really comfortable as well. I'm not a sock person, you know that. I put them on for this, but they're absolutely lovely. So I just need to lose the slippers off the bottom because I've just been and waved goodbye to everybody as they've gone off to work. Right, should we get ourselves ready to go? So bringing ourselves in, we have, look at this, honeybee stocks. Look at that, honeycomb and honeybees. Aren't they lovely? Thank you, Dawn. Right, in our standing position then, we've got fixed external support available to us. I've got a good sturdy chair, nothing in the way, nothing's going to cause me any problems as far as the floor is concerned. I've got my socks on. So I can feel and I can engage with the floor, and feel the floor beneath my feet. All right, posture wise, let's get our heels in line with our knees in line with our hips, and let's lift and lengthen to grow that little bit taller, bringing the shoulders up, back and down. Always want to be a little bit taller. I have anyway. So that's an excellent one for me. Right, in our seated position, we're going to do all of that. But first of all, we've got to bring ourselves away from the back of the chair. So we're sitting up tall, we're supporting the upper body. It's a lift and a shift to hip walk into the front third of the chair. And then once we're sat there, again, we line everything up. We bring the shoulders up, we take them back, and we place them down. Opening that rib cage, opening that chest cavity. Let's start with a circulation booster. And we start by just bringing the heels off the floor. Lifting those heels clear of the floor, up onto the balls of the feet and the toes. So we start to get some movement happening within our lower body. Exactly the same in standing, and we utilise our support if we need it. Now, from here, we make this move a bit bigger by bringing it into a march. So clear the floor slightly with those feet. It's not a huge movement. We're not talking about bringing the knees right up by the hips. It's just a small movement to start to get this bigger action happening. In seated, bearing in mind, if we do get any fatigue into our hip flexors, option is bring it back into the heel raise. Pop a little diagonal side tap in there, or walk your feet forward and have a little tap there so you get a bit of a different movement. Choice is yours. Arm comes in, driving the elbow backwards, about 90 degrees with that elbow, just so that we don't get an uncontrolled movement. It's purposeful, it's driven. Now, in seated and in standing, if we're not using support, we can just change the hand to the other side. But if we are using support, we need to think about it. In front, hand comes down before the other hand comes off. If it's to the side, then we lose the arm firstly. Smaller steps to turn in towards your support, to change to the other side, and then once you're there, we can bring the other hand in. Finally, in seated and in standing, if you feel steady, stable, both arms, both legs. So now, more of the body moving. In my case, even the mouth's moving. Never stops the mouth moving for me. Here we've got this bigger movement happening. We're increasing the heart rate. So the heart's going to beat a little bit faster. We're probably breathing a little bit faster as well. And what we're doing is we're getting that oxygen through the blood around the body. We're warming those muscles. We're giving them the energy they need to start the day. We are loosening the joints and warming the joints. So a couple of minutes, 3 minutes max probably. Start to make this a little bit smaller, bring it into a pause, at which point we are ready to take a couple of deep breaths. Bear in mind, we shouldn't feel out of breath here, so it's not a situation. We should just feel as though we need to take a couple of deep breaths. Let's move into our trio of trios then. So we start at the top, as always, and starting with our shoulders. Now, let's get our base of support sorted right from the very start. So let's take a bit of a wider base of support. Heels outside of our hips, probably in line with our shoulders. This lifted position again, shoulders up, back and down, and we start with the shoulders, lifting them towards our ears and then pressing them down. Now, it's exactly the same in seated, and if I come a little bit closer, you can see that we've got that movement where we're taking the shoulders back past where they started. So we lift them up towards the ears and then we press them down. And the important thing here is that the neck stays lengthened. It's a lift towards the ears and a press down, not bringing the ears down towards the shoulders. Now, once you've done 4 or 5 of those, that's the sort of number we're looking for. Let's take a momentary pause and then let's turn it into a rotational movement. So forward firstly, up towards our ears, back past the earlobes, shoulder blades together, and then that press down again. And the thing with both these moves is slow and controlled. Nice and slow and controlled means we can feel every part of the joint moving, but also means we can try and get the best range of motion. And that's what I mean by nice and slow, so that every bit of it is felt rather than just I like that. You know, that achieves nothing for us. Let's really try and get every bit of range of motion out of our shoulders as we can. Anything where we use the arms, we use those shoulders. So loosening those shoulders, mobilizing those shoulders is going to be good for us throughout the day. Once you've done 4 or 5 of those, take a pause. Let's have another look. Make sure we've got this good base support still there. Those knees soften. We're going to turn our head. Now, have support available. Turning your head can make you feel a little disorientated sometimes. Chin stays level, eye line stays level, controlled movement again, turning to the side, pausing in the centre, and then turning the other way. Now, exactly the same in seated again, and this little pause in the centre is really, really important. This is the bit that enables the body just to resort itself out, establish its balance again in that vestibular system, making sure, hopefully, that you don't feel any dizziness, any disorientation. Once you've done 4 or 5 on each side, thinking about crossing the road, talking to your friends, those sorts of movements, take a pause. Again, try and get the best range of motion, and remember, no pain, unless you have pain already, in which case, no more pain. Once we've done our 4 or 5 of those, we're taking it into our chin tuck. So it's the back of the head, we're going to line everything up. So fingers on the chin, as a guide, not as a push, okay? Eye line stays level, and we can either keep the fingers where they are and straighten the back of the neck out, or we can leave the fingers where they are and come back from them. Now you'll notice, as I come back, because I'm keeping the eye line level, I'm giving myself another chin. It's that movement there, lengthening down through the back of the shoulders, lengthening down through the back of the neck, sorry. The cat's just come and rubbed up against me because she wants to go out. 4 or 5 of those is what you're looking for. And those 4 and 5, again, slow. Get the best range of motion and feel the head lengthening. Now, from the front, you don't see a great deal happening, do you, look? But you'll notice and you'll feel it right down the back of that neck. We're restacking it back onto the top of the spine, where it should be. Once you've done your 4 or 5, take a pause. Let's go into a circulation booster. Now, just the legs this time. So that march, and again, remembering you're seated. If you want to, you can bring it down into that foot pedal if you start to get fatigue into your hip flexors. No arms. Use your support if you need it, and just get this movement happening. We're giving ourselves a little reboost before we go from the top trio down into our trunk trio. 30 seconds is all we're really looking for. Just enough to get that blood pumping around the body again, elevate the heart rate a little bit more, get us breathing a little bit harder, just momentarily. Right, from there, let's take a pause. Base of support again, heels outside of our hips in line with our shoulders. And if you're in seated and standing's on your radar, get used to getting into this sort of position with those legs as well. So that when we come up, we're used to having that wider stance as far as this movement is concerned. The first move is side bend. So we come down to the side. We pause in the centre. And then we take it down the other way. Now, if we're using our support, we can change hands as we go from side to side. If the support is at the side, however, we go into one side. We do 5 or 4 on that side, and then we turn into the support. Remember, as many steps as you need. If we're in seated, then, as I say, if you want to, if your stands on your radar, get used to this support, this position, but think about your bottom. Your bottom are the feet in this instance. So your bum stays firmly on that chair. Those sitting bones don't lift. They stay in contact with the chair as you come down to the side and back up. And as in standing, as we're using the seam of our trousers or we're using the leg as our guide to come straight down and straight up, let's use the leg of the chair, as long as it's a straight leg, to get straight down and straight up. We're mobilising the trunk, so we want to be lengthening down through the side of the body. Once you've done your 4 or 5 on each side, thinking about picking things up, reaching down to get something that might be at a lower level, those sorts of activities. Take a pause. And let's take it into our trunk twist. Now, with our trunk twist, again, we've got this lifted and elevated position. Let's think about seat belts, rolling over in bed, all that sort of thing. We want to try and keep the hips still so that we focus everything into our mid-region. And the movement is there, turning to the side, pausing in the centre and the other way. So seated-wise, I can feel whether my hips are moving because my bum lifts. Standing, we've got it there. And again, we can use the support in front and change hands, or we can go to the side and into the side and back 4 or 5 times. However, what you might also want to do is use that support as a bit of a reference point. So now I can feel I've got contact with that support behind me. And just like the chair, I can feel whether I've got movement in my hips from whether my bum lifts. Or you might have your support in front of you. And then it's whether your hips lift off the support. 4 or 5 is what you're looking for. And I say, think about seat belts and rolling over in bed, all those sorts of things. We're mobilising through this area here. It's a little bit bigger on me at the moment than it should be. I need to do some work on that. But Trunk is really important for those sorts of moves, but also for keeping the upper part of the body lifted. Right, once you've done your 4 or 5 of those, we're taking it into our back extension. So, support again to the side, eye line is going to stay level, and we're extending the lower back. We're not going to lean back. So we want to make sure this pelvis stays still this time. And the movement is a lift of the chest and then an extension. And that will give us that movement into our lower back. So you'll see it's not a huge movement. We're not going like this. We're lifting the sharp chest and then we're extending back. Now, keeping that pelvis still. So again, in standing, you could use your support to give you that guidance. Or you could come to a seated position. Remember, if you come into seated, feel the chair, lower with control into that chair, and then lift and shift to get yourself into the front third here. Now here, again, exactly the same movement, eye line staying level as we lift and extend. So I'm going to give myself another double chin. And I personally feel I get a better range of motion with that contact point. So I haven't got to think about what my pelvis is doing. Lifting and coming back. There we go. Now, if you have any lower back pain, this is going to feel really lovely on that lower back. It's going to ease that a little bit. I know sometimes, I do, sometimes I'll lie funny in bed and I wake up in the morning and think, oh, my back. Get it going and it feels better. Those back extensions will certainly help as far as that is concerned. 4 or 5, focus on keeping the eye line level and getting that movement into here. Remember, it's that lift of the chest before you extend back. Don't lean. Once you've done your 4 or 5, take a pause. Let's have a little circulation booster again, shall we? Just the arms this time. So let's keep the feet where they are. Let's drive those elbows backwards, driving the arms through so we get this movement into our upper body, our shoulders. A little bit of a boost again. And again, we're looking at 30 seconds. We might want to make this a bit of a canoeing motion. Grasp the hands together and draw the shoulders back and across through the side of the body, so we get a bit of a rotational movement happening in the upper body as well, in the chest region. But it's all about just getting that boosted circulation one more time. Once you've done 30 seconds, come to a pause. Let's head downstairs to our ankle, feet and toes. So have support available in standing, the leg closer to the support, stay still, the knee is soft, we bring the other leg in close to it. About hip distance apart. Have a look the first time because we want to get the toe on the floor and the heel in the same place. But once you're comfortable with it, take your eye line to the front. Now, as you've got your heel on the floor, splay your toes, and as you bring it over, scrunch your toes and then point them down towards the floor. This knee stays soft. That will help as far as our balance is concerned, and we've got our support there because it's not a balanced move. Now, in seated, we can do exactly the same. We're probably going to need to readjust our legs a little bit to be able to get that motion into there. Or we could take a little hip walk back into the chair. Extend the leg away in front so it's just off the floor. Look, it's not touching the floor, it's just off the floor, but it's not up here either. There's our point away, so that's the toes towards the floor. And here, scrunch those toes and then bring the toes in towards your shin, and that's your heel press down onto the floor. And there, splay your toes. So you've got this scrunch and this splay. Now, just as this is in balance, not strength, so keep the foot low. Take a break between every couple if you need to. Just don't let this leg start to drift up. It's about getting it down. It's about focusing on that mobility. Once you've done your 4 or 5 on one side, in standing, as many steps as you need to turn to the other side. In seated, change leg. 4 or 5 on the other side as well, focusing into it. And this is the next element to it. It's that walk motion, isn't it? It's that heel strike rolling through onto our heel. That's what we do. It's not as this exaggerated as we do it, but there it is. And that's why we focus on that heel toe. The ankles play such an important part in our balance and our stability. And if you've got socks on, you can feel the floor beneath your feet. So feel how those toes engage with the floor. If you haven't got socks on, you probably feel it through your shoes as well, or your trainers. That's why we've got that scrunch and that splay. Getting those toes mobilised as well, because they'll help with our support and our stability. Right, that is us done for our Monday morning. I'm off to work now. I will see you bright and breezy tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Have a wonderful afternoon and evening. You've got Bex and Kels with you a little bit later on, and I will see you at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful day. Keep active. Keep moving. Keep crowbarring. get it out early. Start crowbarring in some additional activity as well. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.